The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. A senior police officer charged with that American man's murder. The U.S. ambassador says he's pleased that charges were brought. Parmsa Davis defending the plan to acquire GB Power, while Pintard says this is a gamble with taxpayers' money. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, March 26th, 2026. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Laverne Gardner will be joining us. Also this morning, we will get a preview of the Red Cross Fair just days away now. I'll tell you all about what you can expect this year. And later, we'll meet an organization that's doing some great things, including an upcoming event that they want everyone to know about. We're going to talk a little bit later in the show. That's all ahead on this Thursday. But right now, it's time for the Overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, a senior police officer is facing a murder charge in connection with the murder of an American citizen over the weekend. Superintendent Berniel Pinder, who was 51 years old, served as the second in command at the Western Police Station. He's accused of the March 21st fatal shooting of 31-year-old Cody Castillo. Pinder shot and killed Castillo outside the Plantation Bar and Grill in Providence following an altercation involving a friend. Castillo, a linesman at Pike Corporation, was shot inside the company's truck, and the incident was captured on the vehicle's inside dash cam. He was not required, this is Pinder, not required to enter a plea to the charge when he made his initial appearance before acting Chief Magistrate Ancella Evans and was denied bail. However, Pinder is expected to seek bail in the Supreme Court. He's next scheduled to appear before the magistrate on July 23rd, when the matter is expected to be fast-tracked to the Supreme Court for the presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment. Pinder was represented by Ian Cargill and Cassie Bethel. The incident has generated widespread attention. Following the incident, the United States Embassy in Nassau called for justice on the matter. And U.S. Ambassador Herschel Walker said yesterday that he was pleased to see that charges were brought against the officer, saying, quote, "The United States Embassy remains focused on ensuring justice in this case and has offered assistance from the Federal Bureau of Investigation." to support the Royal Bahamas Police Force in its investigation. Walker also saying, quote, "My team and I have been in contact with the family of the victim, and our prayers are with them. Prayers are also with the Royal Bahamas Police Force and the family of the suspect. The protection and well-being of American citizens will always be the highest priority of any embassy, and we will continue to seek justice in this case and all cases where our citizens have been the victims of crime." 2 women have been charged in connection with an arrest that went viral on social media. 37-year-old Sterlanda Bastian, who was seen in the video wearing a bra, appeared before Senior Magistrate Aniska Isaacs and was arraigned on multiple counts of obscene language, disorderly behavior, assaulting a police officer, resisting arrest, threats of harm, and damage. The charges stem from an altercation with a police officer that took place around 1 a.m. on March 23rd. She pleaded not guilty to all of those offenses. Magistrate Isaacs set her bail at $5,500. Also charged was 30-year-old Tanisha Bastian. She faced the same charges as Sterlanda Bastian, except damage, and pleaded not guilty. Their trial is set for June 2nd. Both women ill. Opening debate in the House of Assembly on 2 resolutions to pave the way for the government to acquire Grand Bahama Power Company. Prime Minister Philip David said the move would unburden Grand Bahamians who have traditionally faced higher electricity bills than residents on other islands. David said the acquisition would be part of a larger reform effort which would change the economy, change the country, and change what's possible for Bahamians. Meanwhile, FNM leader Michael Pintard said the government's plan to acquire GBPC is a gamble with taxpayers' money. A Piper PA-46 aircraft with the United States registration N46MB en route to Exuma International Airport from Puerto Rico had to make an emergency landing at Mayaguana's airport yesterday after it began experiencing engine problems. The Aircraft Accident Investigation Authority said 2 people were on board the plane and that there were no fatalities. Iran and the United States hardening their positions as a diplomatic push for a ceasefire in the Middle East appeared to falter today. Tehran moved to formalize its control over the crucial Strait of Hormuz, while Washington prepared for the arrival of U.S. troops in the region that could be used on the ground in the Islamic Republic. Sirens over Israel warned of barrages of incoming Iranian missiles, and in the United Arab Emirates, 2 people were reported killed and 3 were wounded by falling shrapnel from a missile interception over Abu Dhabi on Thursday. The Secretary General of a bloc of Gulf Arab countries said that Iran is charging fees for ships to safely transit the Strait of Hormuz. Industry experts say some ships are paying in Chinese yuan to pass through the strait, where 20% of all traded oil and natural gas is transported in peacetime. Israel said Thursday it killed Commodore Alireza Tanjasiri, the head of Iranian Revolutionary Guard's Navy. The key official overseeing the closure of the strait, defense minister, said he had been killed along with other senior naval commanders in a strike overnight. Iran did not immediately acknowledge his killing. Meanwhile, a strike group anchored by the amphibious assault ship USS Tripoli drew closer to the Mideast with some 2,500 Marines. Also, at least 1,000 paratroopers from the 82nd Airborne have been ordered to the region. The troop movements don't guarantee that U.S. President Donald Trump will use force to try to compel Iran to open the strait and halt its attacks on Gulf Arab states. Trump previously deployed a large force in the Caribbean before the American military captured former Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro in January. Meanwhile, Iran is dismissing the American plan to pause the war and launched more attacks on Israel and Gulf Arab countries. Iran's defiance coming as Israel launched airstrikes on Tehran and as the United States again deployed paratroopers to the area. Iran's foreign minister on state TV said his government has not to end the war and, quote, "we do not plan on any negotiations." That followed a report from Iranian state TV's English language broadcaster, quoting an anonymous official as saying Iran rejected America's ceasefire proposal and has its own demands to end the fighting. Iran has long insisted it won't discuss its ballistic missile program or its support of regional militias, which it views as key to its security, and its ability to control passage through the Strait of Hormuz represents one of its biggest strategic advantages. Armed militants ambushed Nigerian security forces who were responding to a distress call in the northwestern state of Kebbi, fatally shooting 9 soldiers. The militants targeted the security forces in Shebi's Shanga Council area late Tuesday when they were being deployed to respond to warnings about a pending attack. Several soldiers on the attack. Kebbi's governor visited the injured soldiers at the hospital and said the attack had caused great loss. The attack is the latest in a cycle of violence in Nigeria's conflict-battered region, where armed groups often target security forces and remote communities in areas with limited state and security presence. And pressures mounting on the U.S. Congress to end the funding shutdown that's resulted in travel disruptions, missed paychecks, and even warnings of airport closures. But lawmakers have yet to resolve the underlying issue of reining in President Trump's immigration enforcement operations. Senators are expected to vote today on a Republican proposal that would fund the Transportation Security Administration and much of the Department of Homeland Security, except the enforcement and removal operations conducted by ICE, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement. But it is expected to fail. Democrats argue the GOP plan does not go far enough at putting guardrails on ICE and Customs and Border Protection officers who are engaged in the Trump administration's immigration sweeps. With Congress set to leave town by week's end for its own spring break recess, calls are intensifying for an end to the 41-day stalemate that's put the livelihoods of TSA officers at risk as they provide airport security without pay. The acting TSA administrator testifying at a House hearing Wednesday, describing the multiple hardships facing unpaid TSA workers, piling up bills and eviction notices, even plasma blood donations to make ends meet. And she's warning of potential airport closures if more employees refuse to come to work. Daily call-out rates have increased to 11% nationwide.
This is Sports Update.
In sports, junior swimmers are confident they can pull off an historic 8-peat at the 2026 Carifta Aquatics Championships in Martinique over the Easter holiday weekend. The 36-member team features a good blend of veteran swimmers and fresh faces ahead of the competition. Head coach Trevano McPhee emphasizing the importance of coming together as a unit as the team practice this week. Read more on that in today's Guardian Sports section. And the Bahamas football squad for the Bahamas men's national soccer team as they departed for Georgetown Cayman to compete in the March window of the 2025-26 CONCACAF Series. CONCACAF Series is an international friendly competition providing member associations with competitive matches as teams continue their development on the regional stage. And the Blue Waves Swim Club pulling out all the stops to celebrate the club's 10th anniversary. The anniversary capped off with the perfect cherry on top as the Blue Waves also won a special meet with a top total of 1,620 points. Mako Aquatics was second in this meet Saturday with 1,053 points, and Barracuda ended the meet in third with 643 points. The Blue Wave swimmers collected 147 medals, including 54 gold, 55 silver, and 38 bronze. From the NBA, Julius Randle hit the go-ahead jumper with 8.8 seconds left in overtime to cap a game-losing 15-0 run by the Minnesota Timberwolves for a 110-108 victory over the Houston Rockets. Overcame a 13-point deficit in overtime, the biggest comeback since play-by-play throughout the game began in 1997. Randle, who had all of his 24 points at halftime, was called for a foul on Kevin Durant's drive with 3.3 seconds remaining after the Rockets started 23 for 23 from the free throw line. Durant's first attempt was short, though. He missed the second one intentionally to try to keep possession, but the Rockets never got a final shot. And the NBA has finally decided to consider expanding past its current 30-team footprint, with the league's owners voting Wednesday to start exploring the process of adding franchises in Las Vegas and Seattle. It was not a surprise move. Expansion has been, and it's been clear for some time that those two cities, both with long-standing ties to the NBA, are the ones that are now a significant step closer toward joining the league. Las Vegas, the league's summer home for years in sight of the first NBA Cup championship series or championship games, has long been clamoring for an NBA team since at least the late 90s, if not longer, and Seattle has been waiting for the Supersonics to return for nearly 2 decades. Aaron Judge went hitless on opening day for Major League Baseball. This was the first time he went hitless and struck out 4 times since September 2024. But the New York Yankees still produced plenty of offense and beat San Francisco 7-0 Wednesday night in the debut of Giants manager Tony Vitello as the Major League season began. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Your first look at weather brought to you by Star General. We've got weak surface ridging that will support pulses of moisture and locally brisk breezes moving in from the Atlantic. And that's going to spark occasional shallow-topped showers across most of the country over the course of the day today. Meanwhile, an upper-level trough will move southwards across the central Bahamas, and that's going to promote cloudy conditions and enhance shower and thunderstorm activity, mainly for the southeast Bahamas by this afternoon into the evening. For today, there's also a moderate risk of rip currents affecting all Atlantic and Atlantic-exposed beaches. Beachgoers and swimmers should exercise caution. The forecast for today for the extreme northern islands, look for mostly sunny conditions with a few cloudy patches, turning mostly fair tonight. A 10% chance of showers, increase to 2% chance across the Abaco area during the late afternoon hours. Winds northeast to east at 10 to 15 knots with occasionally higher gusts. The rest of the northwest Bahamas, including New Providence, we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds today, turning mostly fair tonight. A 10 to 30% chance of showers. Winds easterly at 15 knots with higher gusts. Partly cloudy during the morning hours for the central Bahamas, becoming a mix of sun and clouds by this afternoon, but mostly fair tonight. A 10 to 30% chance of showers. Winds northeast to east at 15 knots with higher gusts, increasing to 15 to 20 knots by tonight. And for the southeast Bahamas, mostly cloudy to occasionally overcast today, becoming partly cloudy by this evening. A 20 to 40% chance of showers with thunderstorms today, decreasing to about 10 to 20% chance by tonight. Winds northeast to east at 15 knots with higher gusts, increasing to 15 to 20 knots by this evening. Your temperatures today, look for highs around 84 Fahrenheit, 9 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight in the mid to upper 60s, around 18 to 20 Celsius. For the central and southeast Bahamas, with the increased cloud cover, look for highs getting up to about 81, 82 Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight in the upper 60s, low 70s, between about 21 and 23 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up in just a bit. This weather check brought to you by Star General Insurance, made simple. It is time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
It's back. Agri-Expo 2026, presented by the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources, April 10th through 12th at the Gladstone Road Agriculture Center. Agriculture, our heritage, our future, comes alive with the latest farming technologies, exciting cooking demonstrations and competitions, Bahamian farmers and vendors from across the islands, fun for the kids at the kitty corner, nightly musical concerts, and free admission for everyone. Bring the whole family and celebrate what feeds our nation. Agri-Expo 2026. Let's get growing.
Looking to elevate your gadget game, or are tech troubles simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale, or call 396-1100.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening for you. CIBC, ambitions made real.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled edge technology: Custom Computers. Challenges, and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the Know-How team at 396-11.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us, because we've got you covered.
This is definitely built on the progress that we've made. There's now drone technology. There's now year-round container farming. You have hydroponics, you have aquaponics, you have precision farming. There have been record numbers of enrollments, record numbers of flat fishing certifications. We've had record enrollments in our online courses. Students from across the family of islands. Because in Bamsi, we are not just cultivating produce, we're cultivating producers.
Paid for by PL.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-47 supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Laverne Gardner. Laverne, good morning.
Good morning, Dwight, and good morning to our listeners, especially those in Grand Bahama.
Hope you all are doing well.
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm right here. All right, so we got a lot to get to today.
I didn't ask you where you were, but okay.
Okay, well, yeah.
One of those mornings.
One of those years. But hey, we got a lot of...
We're only 3 months in.
Yeah.
Don't speak over your entire year like that. We're only 3 months.
True. Thank you for the perspective. We've got an interesting show today. We're going to be talking with the Bahamas Red Cross. Their fair is coming up this weekend. We'll get all the details about that. And then later we'll talk. They're doing some exciting things, and they've got a big event coming up as well. So we'll get details about all of that coming up. But right now, let's talk about what else is in the news. In the news, the big headlines in the papers today: senior cop charged with American man's murder. Yeah, we're going to get into that. I'll read the court, what happened in court yesterday for you. We'll get to that story in just a bit. I just want to say this. Yesterday, we talked about a couple of court stories. Laverne, I don't know if you got to hear the show yesterday. But
I did not.
Okay, we were talking about some very disturbing court stories. So, my goodness, everything. Child rape.
Oh.
People throwing rocks at a bus that killed a girl a few years back. What happened to them? And one matter, a man who was accused of raping his niece, who was charged with incest. And I was flabbergasted at how rape could lead to an incest charge, right? But anyway, so I about this. But let's just say I've had some clarity after some folks reached out to me to give me some insight.
Okay.
And I get it. And perhaps, yes, the court is right on this one. And I just need to say that some of you are very sick people. And if you know what's going on in your families and you haven't said anything, you're as bad.
You're just as bad.
You're as bad, if not worse than the perpetrator. You're demonic individuals. And you need, my God. Everybody, when these things happen, everybody knows the story. Everybody knows how long it's been going on. Everybody knew. But nobody did a single thing. They didn't do anything.
Right.
So, but they're all about the place judging everybody else and pointing fingers about this and that. But it's a disgrace. You know what's also interesting, Laverne, and in some ways this is a disgrace. But so we heard about this yesterday. BBC's reporting it, but not many other organizations were reporting this. I think AP did as well. But the UN voted to recognize enslavement of Africans as the gravest crime against humanity. Yeah, you know how horrible humans have been.
Right.
So for this to be the gravest, which it is, but that should tell you something. So the United Nations General Assembly has voted to recognize the enslavement of Africans during the transatlantic slave trade as the gravest crime against humanity, a move advocates hope will pave the way for healing and justice. The resolution proposed by Ghana called for this designation, while also urging UN member states to consider apologizing for slave trade and contributing to a reparations fund. It does not mention a specific amount of money. The proposal was adopted by 123 votes in favor, and this part is key.
How many opposed?
3 against. There were also 52 countries that abstained. But listen to the 3 who abstained. Listen very carefully to the 3 who abstained. The United States, Israel, and Argentina. They didn't abstain. They voted against.
They voted against.
Against. They voted no. Against. United States, Israel, and Argentina. Also listen to one key country that abstained. One very key country that abstained. 52 countries abstained, including the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom. Who's the king of the United Kingdom, Laverne?
I'm not surprised.
Who's the king of the United Kingdom?
Charles.
Charles. Do you know which other country he's the king of?
The Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
The what?
The Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Oh, my. He abstained. Well, his country abstained.
Of course.
And European Union member states also abstained.
Of course.
Countries like the UK have long rejected calls to pay reparations, saying today's institutions cannot be held responsible for past wrongs.
But when they had to be paid for loss of labor, that was okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And don't let your Grammy have done something. They'll still be telling you that you, right? They'll be holding that against you. I can guarantee you. But yes, these countries can't. Yeah. So unlike UN Security Council resolutions, those from the General Assembly are not legally binding, though they carry the weight of global opinion. So Ghana's
it's not legally binding.
No, just symbolic.
But even in that symbolism, we had 3 countries who said no and 52 who abstained.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I'm clear.
Yeah. So Ghana's President John Mahama assembly ahead of the vote, quote, "Let it be recorded that when history beckoned, we did what was right for the memory of the millions who suffered the indignity of the slave trade and those who continue to suffer racial discrimination. The adoption of this resolution serves as a safeguard against. It also challenges the enduring scars of slavery." Earlier, his foreign minister told the BBC's Newsday program, quote, "We are demanding compensation. And let us be clear, African leaders are not asking for money themselves. We want justice for the victims and causes to be supported, educational and endowment funds, skills training funds." The campaign in recent years, reparatory justice was the African Union's official theme for 2025, and Commonwealth leaders have jointly called for dialogue on the matter. Ghana also saying that the resolution was not ranking its pain above anyone else with the resolution, but simply documenting an historical fact. Between 1500...
Amazing how they have to put so much justification on it.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, every time we have those discussions on this show, it's amazing the number of people who are pushing back or highly offended or, uncomfortable. Yeah. And how many generations removed are we, and how many years, centuries has it been? But still, the wounds run deep.
You carry them today. You still carry them.
In the DNA. In the DNA. So between 1500 and 1800, those years, 12 to 50 million people were captured in Africa and taken to the Americas, where they were forced to work as slaves. It's estimated that over 2 million people died on the journey. The resolution backed by the African Union and the Caribbean Community, which is CARICOM, states that the consequences of slavery persist in the form of racial inequities and inequalities and underdevelopment affecting Africans and people of African descent in all parts of the world. Representatives from Ghana telling the BBC that many generations continue to suffer the exclusion, the racism, because of the transatlantic slave trade, which has left millions separated from the continent and impoverished. Ahead of the vote, speaker after speaker expressed similar views. The UK, one of the major powers involved in the transatlantic slave trade, said it recognized the untold harm and misery that had been caused to millions of people over many decades, but its ambassador to the UN told the Assembly in his speech that the resolution was problematic in terms of its wording and law. The UN ambassador James Kariuki saying, quote, "No single set of atrocities should be regarded as more or less significant than another."
Of course.
Oh my gosh.
Of course.
Well, I'm going to read that one more time. No single set of atrocities should be regarded as more or less significant than another. Okay. The U.S.'s ambassador to the UN made similar points during his speech, saying his country, quote, "does not recognize a legal right to reparations for historical wrongs that were not illegal under international law at the time they occurred." Wow.
Oh, right, that's how we start in our morning.
Wow. Does not recognize a legal right to reparations for historical wrongs that were not illegal under international law at the time they occurred. Huh. Okay. All right. In addition, I guess this is the UN ambassador, Dan Negria, said the U.S. objected to the, quote, "cynical usage of historical wrongs as a leverage point to reallocate modern resources to people and nations who were distantly related to the historical victims."
Wow.
It's getting worse.
Yeah, and you
Oh my
keep
goodness.
reading it.
Oh my goodness gracious. The cynical usage of historical wrongs as a leverage point to reallocate modern resources to people and nations who are distantly related to the historical victims. Distantly. Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Ghana, one of the main gateways for the transatlantic slave trade, has long been a leading advocate for reparations. Forts, where tens of thousands of enslaved human conditions remain standing along the West African country's coast. As well as the legal problems around reparations, the U.S. ambassador said the resolution was unclear as to, quote, whom the recipients of reparatory justice would be. Negria also responded to the Ghana's Prime Minister President's earlier criticism of U.S. President Donald Trump's administration for, quote, normalizing the erasure of black history. Since returning to power, the U.S. president has targeted American cultural and historical institutions for promoting what he calls anti-American ideology. Trump's orders have led to moves such as the restoration of Confederate statues and an attempt to dismantle a slavery exhibit in Philadelphia. Now, Ghana's leader said on Tuesday, quote, "These policies are becoming a template for other governments as well as some private institutions." But Negria, the U.S. ambassador, said President Trump had done, quote, more for black Americans than any other president. Saying, quote, he is working around the clock to be greater than ever. The resolution also calls for cultural artifacts stolen during the colonial era to be returned to their countries of origin. Ghana's reps saying, quote, "We want a return of all those looted artifacts which represent our heritage, our culture, and our spiritual significance. All those artifacts looted for many centuries into the colonial era ought to be returned." And that is a fantastic article from BBC. Wow. Good morning, Bob. Hey, okay. What do you make of that?
I don't even really know where to go at. Like I said, this is how we're starting our morning.
323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free. 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. I'm going to try to find a list of all the countries who abstained. And got to make sure the Bahamas voted at all. But I mean, I can imagine if CARICOM is a part of this as well, and the Bahamas has a nationally recognized reparations committee, so I can't imagine they would not have voted in favor of this. But I want to see the list, and I'll try to pull it up while we talk. But let's hear from you. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Okay. So, yes, the Bahamas voted in favor of that. Abstaining. These are the countries that abstained. Yeah. Andorra, Armenia, Australia, Austria, Belgium, Bosnia, Bulgaria, Cambodia, Canada, Croatia, Cyprus, Czechia, Denmark, Estonia, Fiji, Finland, France, Georgia, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Iceland, Ireland, Italy, Japan, Latvia, Lithuania, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, Malta, Monaco, Montenegro, Netherlands, New Zealand, North Macedonia, Norway, Oman, Palau, Paraguay, Poland, Portugal, Republic of Moldova, I guess it is, Romania, San Marino, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Ukraine, and United Kingdom abstained. And again, Israel and Argentina voted no. No. Let's hear from you, callers. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, Dwight.
Good morning.
I really want to give Ghana credit for beating this the way they did. Obviously, a lot of work going. I remember many years ago when I visited Ghana. I touched down. There's something about putting your foot on soil where so much atrocities don't take place. You know.
I'm not sure what's happening, John. You're breaking up quite a bit. You might want to call us back. Try calling us back. Okay. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Yeah, Dwight. I was not surprised at all with all this, Dwight, because just like John said, I want to give kudos to Ghana also for leading this. For years, I was watching them, talking about it back and forth. But I'm not really shocked or surprised that the our colonizers are still not prepared to let us go. Right? They find other ways to enslave us, man. So it isn't a surprise, but kudos, and I think it's the time has been over. We really need these things to be put in place so that we as black people could understand and sort of heal from the atrocity what our forefathers had to take had to been a part of, and right now mentally we still facing that atrocity, right? So kudos to Ghana, but America, Israel, and the rest of those colonizing countries, it isn't no surprise, but I'm glad it came out so that people could see just who their enemies are. Have a nice day.
Yeah, interesting. All right, so some people are asking about, so does this mean that all the other countries voted yes? And It really, Russia voted yes. Wow. Yeah. Iran voted yes. Isn't that interesting? China voted yes. Things make you go,
Right now we know.
Things that make you
Now
go,
we know. Now we know how to create our places to visit list.
Well, I don't know if I go that far. But still, it's interesting who voted yes.
What do you mean you won't go that
I
far?
mean, just because you voted yes doesn't mean it's a place that you should visit. But okay. But it is certainly interesting. Huh. Wow. Let's take some more calls. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Right, good morning.
Hi. Yes, that sounds better.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I was saying that, Ghana, in its effort to push such a massive initiative forward on behalf of particularly the black race, kudos to them. Obviously, a lot of thought and effort went into it to bring it forward to the United Nations the way they did. I was saying, I remember many years ago when I went to Ghana, where so much atrocities and so much harm to the black race had its origin in so many ways. There's something about being on the soil, something about being where the spirit of your ancestors, begin that journey. I would encourage a lot of Bahamians who've not made that pilgrimage to Ghana to do that. It's really transformative in a lot of different ways. I'm not surprised, though, about our neighbors, America, and the way they continue to make a mockery of the harm they've done to the black people. And reading from the statement that the ambassador made, he continues to mock and continues to disrespect the harm that America has done to the black race. But I will leave that there for people who continue to think that Donald Trump is such a champion for the black people. There's a lot to be said about that.
Well, he's done more for the black people than any other president before, according to the U.S. ambassador to the UN. Yeah. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. Are you there? Hi, caller, good morning. You're live.
Good morning to you and Laverne.
Good morning.
Morning.
I would recommend that all blacks should refuse to vacation in the U.S., Israel, Argentina. I think we need force. And you notice now, to get reparation, you need leverage, which we have, but we don't know how to use it. For example, Iran is they're bringing this fake president to his knees. And we don't have that kind of leverage. We are not on the verge of developing, but they won't allow us to. But I think
Who's
that's
the
what's
fake
lacking
president?
In the black community, the cohesiveness where we can just boycott. Because I think we spend a lot of money in South Florida, we just like to go there. I don't know why. But we need to boycott those countries that voted no. Because what I read historically, pick niggers is picnics.
Okay.
You don't want me to go there.
No, we don't want you to do that.
Have a wonderful
I don't know who you mean is the fake president, but you're stirring up some trouble today. Okay, although I'm sure some will say I am. I'm just reading facts. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Are you there? Good morning.
Yep.
Hi, good morning. Got to
Hey,
speak
good
quickly when you
morning.
hear us. Hi.
Hello, good
Hi.
morning.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, good. Yeah, when you look at the portion where they talk about the fact that they cannot be held accountable or should not be accountable for something that was the eyebrow, because obviously and that's the position that America took, it shows you that this is the reason why certain laws are still being pushed and certain things are being pushed, because the laws that they create, erodes the consciousness of guilt. And by doing so, it allows them to do whatever they want to do. And right now, there seems to be a push to go back, as they call it, to the good old days, in the terms of how they operate, and that may disenfranchise the Black Americans and so on and so forth. But this is one to watch. It's very interesting to see how, persons don't recognize the fact that as a people, we have had so much atrocities towards us, and the foundation of wealth gained by those individuals was established on the backs of our ancestors. But yet, they don't see any wrongdoing in such, and they benefit heavily from the behaviors of their forefathers, and they have no sense of remorse for such. But that's just my contribution.
Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Although my mother that have not been legal in this country that are now legal, and how that excuse. Anyway, these are text messages, Laverne. 52 countries abstained in an effort to appease the one. Many countries are trying to navigate the world with a certain erratic strongman leader. I think that's what it is. I actually don't know if that's what it is. They just don't want to. It'll have consequences. Again, it's not legally binding, but it'll get closer to making the legal argument that you have to do something about what you did hundreds of years ago. This person says here, this is a wonderful topic. We as black people are often told to get over it. They don't tell Jewish people to get over it. And one simple search shows that more blacks died as a result of slavery and racism than Jews in the Holocaust. This generation is not responsible for it, but they are responsible for their reaction to it. This person says here, the United States' view explains their current view of invading active entitlement to wealth of that nation. Okay. I don't know. Again, anyway, let's continue to read the text. The U.S. and the other abstaining nations still have an attitude of superiority, and they're non-apologetic and only deepening the wound from the pain of slavery. This person says here, the average Bahamian doesn't keep reparations. Yeah, well, we can't go back in time and change slavery. When you say the average, you mean you? That's what you mean? We learned from anything you're trying to say and moved on. You don't know what you're talking about. Just being honest. What are we concerned about? You don't understand anything about the long-lasting wounds and how this has set back these countries for many generations. You're not getting it. You're not getting it at all. And it's very sad. Right? All of these other places at universities hundreds of years ago. When did we have our first? Just think about that. How many hospitals do we have in this country? Think about all these things. These things were not priorities until we gained independence. How things were run, they were not the priority, only afterwards. You need to understand what that means. But they go on to say, why are we concerned about this? How this government is not good for us and things are tough in the Bahamas. You answered your own question. We started off on a bad leg. Bahamians need relief. Corruption appears to be an all-time high. We need an economy that is working for the poor man and not a certain few. We need help on these streets, Dwight. Yeah, we do. We do. And these streets were paved, well, barely paved, on the backs of the slaves, the enslaved people. So you need to just reevaluate everything about where we are and how we started out compared to where other countries, not as old as us, remember the great 1492 and the discovery, yet how far back we were compared to others. Think about all of that. Why is that? Why did that happen? Stexter says it's not really interesting for the countries that voted yes and the ones that voted no. I don't know what you're saying. USA has been featured. They label us violent and criminals as black people, but they are the true enemies of humanity. Okay. This person says here, tell me you guys are not that daft not to understand why Israel, who had and has Jews who actually suffered through the Holocaust, would vote against the petition. Please tell me you guys can't be that simple. I don't know why you're that daft to text us this stupid text. What's your problem? They could have abstained, but they voted no. So please stop. And why are you sending us a text like this? What is your problem? The U.S. has Black History Month. What more y'all want? And I don't think you're joking. And we're tired of you. We have labeled you as misogyny, but I'm going to block you now. You shouldn't be listening to this program or this station. Please go away and leave us alone. You've bombarded us with your hatred of everything, women and people of color, for months. And none of us like your text messages. And we're done with you. I'm not going to read your number for people to bombard you with their nonsense about what you have to say, but we're done with you. Please stop. Stop it now. Wow. Laverne? Are you there? Did it scare you off? Is she muted?
I'm here.
Okay.
I am here.
This is just...
I am here.
This is amazing. Do you see how this is?
That's what I'm saying.
This will never get resolved.
Let's move on to another. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, this is a serious problem because the people who are the most hateful are the black people themselves. The people who do not want this to ever be resolved in the right way because of the effective brainwashing that has been going on for centuries. So this is a serious issue that'll... Boy. Dwight, this is not a light topic, and this is why it needs to be done more often. We are still suffering 100 years later. As Bahamian reflecting on the decision of the U.S. to vote against reparations for slavery, that's not what it was. That's not what it was. It was just to acknowledge that the transatlantic slave trade, that this was the biggest atrocity of ever in the history of humankind. Not about reparations directly, no. Just to admit that it was the worst thing ever that we did.
And it's symbolic.
Yeah.
Right?
So the text says, I feel a mix of disappointment and frustration. This decision could be seen as a lack of acknowledgement for the historical injustices and the ongoing impacts of slavery. It may evoke a sense of solidarity with those who continue to fight for justice and equality, not only in the U.S., but around the world. Additionally, there might be a call for further dialogue and understanding regarding the legacy of slavery and its ramifications in contemporary society, emphasizing the importance of addressing historical grievances to foster healing and progress. Well, if people are open, it seem like many are, including the descendants of the people who were enslaved. Just get over it. I guarantee you, though, if my granddaddy took your granddaddy's house and I'm living there and I turned it into a big giant mansion or a hotel and I'm making millions off it, you would hold a grudge on me forever, and so would your kids. And you'd want money from the proceeds of that hotel that's making millions. Guarantee. You'd say, oh, them Strachan, you know what they did to me in 1924? Oh.
Yeah, but that's us against each other, right?
Oh, okay. Wow. This person says here, it is a deeply contradictory framework. If the United States recognizes slavery as history's greatest atrocity, then why do we as Bahamians still constitutionally our former enslavers as head of state? Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Right? King Charles, King of the Bahamas. In this season of choosing leadership, we must question why King Charles is representative, or the representation of why King Charles holds constitutional weight above elected authority. True sovereignty demands more than symbolism. It requires structural independence that reflects the will and dignity of the Bahamian people. Make it make sense. How long are we going to continue this farce, this charade? What are we doing? They abstained. They cannot admit it.
Just so we're clear.
The king of our country. These people will come around to your house over the next few days. They've already started. They will swear allegiance to him and his heirs and successors. But they can't acknowledge that slavery was the worst thing that happened. And they won't apologize. Your king. Think about that. We're going to go to the news. When we come back, we'll talk about the police officer charged with murdering an American man and GBPC. Well, Laverne's in Grand Bahama. How do you feel about this, Laverne? The government acquiring GBPC. We're going to get into all that stuff. The stuff that one texter says, the things that Bahamians are concerned about, not about all the other stuff. We'll get into that. Who knows? Maybe if you think about it, these all might be related in some way to what we've just been talking about. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
I's a Bahamian, hairy born and bred. I don't want to live nowhere else, even when I did.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all.
Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices, also on your televisions, on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. And now at 8:23, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. If you're ready to refresh your space, head to your local Sherwin-Williams for premium paint, pro tips, and everyday deals that make it easy to get started. So we've got weak surface ridging that will support pulses of moisture and locally brisk breezes moving in from the Atlantic. That's going to spark occasional shallow-topped showers across most of the area over the course of the day today. Meanwhile, an upper-level trough will move southwards across the central Bahamas, promoting cloudy periods while enhancing showers and thunderstorms mainly for the southeastern islands this afternoon into the evening. A dry air mass will filter into the area, or a dry air mass will, and behind the upper level trough as it moves away. It's going to allow for skies to gradually clear and cap a few shower chances as high pressure strengthens heading into the weekend. An upper level disturbance will form over Cuba on Saturday, and that's going to migrate eastwards throughout the remainder of the weekend, introducing showers and thunderstorms across the southern islands. We've got a vigorous cold front. It's still talking about cold fronts. It's going to advance into the area by early Sunday, and that's going to produce strong to gale force winds as it moves through the islands, but moves out of the area quickly by Monday. Behind it, though, we've got an expansive area of high pressure that's going to continue through to about midweek next week. Next week, of course, being a short week, Holy Week, and so that's going to be interesting for all of us. There remains a moderate risk of rip currents affecting all Atlantic and Atlantic exposed beaches, and beachgoers and swimmers should continue to exercise caution. So for today, for the extreme northern islands, including Grand Bahama and Abaco, look for mostly sunny conditions today with a few cloudy patches, turning mostly fair tonight. A 10% chance of showers increasing to 20% chance, especially for the Abacos by the afternoon. A mix of sun and clouds for the rest of the northwest Bahamas, including New Providence, and partly cloudy conditions during the morning hours, becoming a mix of sun and clouds by the for the central islands. Mostly cloudy to overcast today for the southeast Bahamas, becoming partly cloudy by this evening with a 20 to 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Again, that's the southeast Bahamas, but that should decrease to about 10 to 20% chance by tonight. Still going to be a warm day today. Highs getting up to around 84 Fahrenheit. For the northern, it's about 28, 29 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to the mid-60s for most of the northern half of the country, around 18, 19 to 20 Celsius. For the central and southeast Bahamas, you've got higher chances of rain and cloud cover, so look for highs only around 81, 82 Fahrenheit, 27, 28 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight in the upper 60s, low 70s for most areas in the central and southeast Bahamas. With your extended outlook for Friday, look for a mix of sun and clouds for most areas tomorrow, turning fair at night. By Saturday, mostly sunny, turning mostly fair at night for the northern half of the country. Still a mix of sun and clouds for the central and southeast Bahamas, becoming mostly cloudy to overcast by the afternoon Saturday. And Sunday, partly cloudy at first, becoming cloudy to overcast by the afternoon for the northern Bahamas as that front approaches. A mix of sun and clouds, becoming partly cloudy at night for the rest of the northwest Bahamas, and still cloudy to overcast with gradual clearing throughout the day for the central and southeast Bahamas. As we start the work week, Monday, the short work week, partly cloudy to cloudy for the northern half of the country, and still a mix of sun and clouds elsewhere. That's your morning blend weather check. Also brought to you by Kalina. Kalina has an important reminder: proof of full-time student enrollment for overage dependents for the spring 2026 semester is past due. Please submit your verification documents via email at healthbenefits@kalina.com, healthbenefits@kalina.com by March 31st to stay covered. Time for Check of Traffic, brought to you by NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers. In your real-time traffic right now, we are seeing some slow-moving traffic on West Bay Street from about Saunders Beach. You're going to see that all the way through to downtown, especially once you get east of Arawak Key. Heading nearby Nassau Street, you'll see that slow-moving eastbound traffic. But once you get east of that area, you're going to see both directions, east and westbound. Again, all the way into downtown, and that will continue on to Bay Street as well. Got some issues at the 6 Egg roundabout on the John F. Kennedy Drive side. Heavy traffic for quite a distance up to the roundabout and southbound on New Providence Highway as well. Slow-moving traffic on the New Providence Highway northbound side. Milo Butler Highway, as usual, heavy traffic from Fire Trail straight up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway. And Gladstone is going to be busy for you this morning. Some pockets there of slow-moving northbound traffic from north of Fire Trail, and again as you get closer to Munnings Road. Then we've got Independence Drive, heavy traffic both directions, but especially eastbound right now between Blue Hill and East Street. And East Street seeing slow-moving northbound traffic as you approach that roundabout once you get north of Soldier Road. Eastern Road, heavy traffic for you from just east of Fox Hill to about Johnson Road if you're heading westbound. And Prince Charles Drive, heavy, slow-moving westbound traffic from Beatrice Avenue, especially straight through to Robinson. But heavier traffic than normal on the eastbound side of Robinson Road. And something might be going on there, folks. So you might want to avoid that area as the traffic picks up again once you get closer to Old Trail on the way to Macon East-West Highway. Those are your hot spots. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert, brought to you by NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers. Reminding that if you need cover you can count on, you can buy motor insurance your way. Stop by your nearest branch or visit nuainsurance.com. Simple, secure, and ready when you are.
Get ready for a night you won't forget. It's Z-Live's Far Back Friday Party with host Chicago Lang. Friday, March 27th, beginning at 7 p.m. Join us at Sapodilla Estate for a night of 80s and 90s music, dance, light bites, and refreshing drinks. Get your tickets at the Nassau Guardian between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. $50 per person. Cash sales only. It's Z-Live's Far Back Friday Party. Real music, lots of fun, eats and drinks, and oh so cool vibes. See you there.
At Star General, you can go gold. Comprehensive car insurance covers loss or damage from accidents, fire, theft, and third-party liability. But the Gold package gives you increased coverage for rental car and windscreen, personal accident, medical benefits, deductible waiver, and 24-hour roadside assistance where available. Our Star General Gold package also gives you up to $2,500 for accidental damage to a rental car anywhere in the Bahamas. Go gold with Star General. Insurance made simple.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
The following is a paid political message.
Find it here. You're looking for truth. Find it here. Vote for MacGyver. She's here for you. See everybody in Galane. Change is here. Hey. Hands in the air. See everybody in Galane. Vote for MacGyver. She is a fighter.
That was a paid political message.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Here's the Sure-winning art store moment from Shelley and Dee Dee.
We're the only full art store in the Bahamas. If we don't have it, we make a list, and trust me, our boss can get that. If you need that, he can get that. You can find sketchbooks, acrylics, the canvases in all sizes, stencils. We have the Angelus that they use on shoes and letters. We're the only persons in Nassau that carries the Montana spray. We have the Krylon sprays, watercolor and paints, the oil, chalk paints, the alcohol paint, metallic paints, the little Floetrol, and we have cleaning products for the artists, thinning products for the artists, and Crayola glitters, pencils, the Posca markers, and pastels, oil, and the acrylic pastels, dyes. Oh yeah, we also have airbrush paint. I didn't forget that part of the movie. Gift sets, hobby craft,
Oil, shrimp,
clays.
stew, shrimp gumbo. But art supplies. We have a lot of them. Sherwin-Williams Art Store. Find colour in every day.
Southwest Plaza has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas, Air, the Athlete's Foot, and BTC, K. John Bull Fine Threads, Alive, Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's Clocks and Island Lock, Starbucks and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
New are connecting our islands. Energy reform is bringing electricity prices down, while young Bahamians are stepping up, gaining new skills for new opportunities. Respect for workers. Support for entrepreneurs. We're modernizing energy and infrastructure across our islands and preparing Bahamians to succeed in a new economy. Transformations this big take time. Let's choose progress. Paid for by the PLP.
Struggling to find your financial rhythm? Make that move to Fidelity and let us help you orchestrate your financial goals into perfect harmony with free financial coaching sessions. Make that move today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
I ain't never seen. Yes, you did. Ooh, so girl, if you talk like you walk, come and talk to me. But look here, it would break my heart, break my heart, break my heart if I find out you can't move. You better show me now, show me now, show me now. 'Cause when I take it to the floor, ooh, you gotta get down. You know what to do. Hey, Mr. DJ, play a song of this pretty little lady.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with you, along with Laverne Gardner on this Thursday morning. Say hi, Laverne. Oh, wow, they killed the music just for that. Hey, Laverne, are you there?
Good morning.
Hey.
Okay, I'm right here.
Great. And coming up in a few minutes, we're going to get details about the 82nd annual fair from the Bahamas Red Cross. Just a couple of days away now. We're going to get into that in just a few. But we continue to talk about what's in the news. So as we said earlier, the big story in the papers today, senior cop charged with American's murder. Our Artesia Dave is writing about it today. A senior police officer is facing murder charges in connection with the murder of an American citizen over the weekend. Superintendent Berniel Pinder, served as the second in command at the Western Police Station, is accused of the March 21st fatal shooting of 31-year-old Cody Castillo. Pinder shot and killed Castillo outside the Plantation Bar and Grill in New Providence following an altercation that involved a female friend. Castillo, a linesman at Pike Corporation, was shot inside the company's truck, and the incident was captured on the vehicle's inside dash cam. He was not required to enter a plea to the charge when he made his first court appearance before Acting Chief Magistrate Ancella Evans and was denied bail. However, Pinder is expected to seek bail in the Supreme Court. He's next scheduled to appear before the magistrate on July 23rd, when the matter is expected to be fast-tracked to the Supreme Court for a voluntary bill of indictment. Pinder, represented by Ian Cargill and Cassie Bethel. The incident generated widespread attention. Following the incident, the U.S. Embassy in Nassau called for justice in the matter, and U.S. Ambassador Herschel Walker yesterday said that he was pleased to see that charges were brought against the officer. He said, quote, "The United States Embassy remains focused on ensuring justice in this case and has offered assistance from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, to support the Royal Bahamas Police Force in its investigation." Saying, quote, "My team and I have been in contact with the family of the victim, and our prayers are with them. Our prayers are also with the Royal Bahamas Police Force and the family of the suspect. The protection and well-being of American citizens will always be the highest priority of any embassy, and we will continue to seek justice in this case and all cases where our citizens have been divided. Okay.
Do we have the an update on the other shooting that took place?
No, we don't. Not as yet. Not as yet. It's not been an official statement on who the victim is and who the officer is.
Okay.
Who the officer is, who was attacked by a cutlass, allegedly. No update on how he's doing. It's very interesting how that one is playing out in a very different way.
Interesting, but not surprising.
Yes. Yes, that's a great way to put it. What are we to make of all of that? 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. While we wait for the calls to come in, this is an article here in today's Nassau Guardian. Pintard says F&M would ensure there is independent oversight of police force. Our Latonya Roberts writing about that. F&M leader Michael Pintard said yesterday that an F&M administration would ensure that there is an independent oversight of the police force, saying, quote, "We want the Prime Minister to get back on big issues. Are you prepared to provide independent oversight of the police force? We are. Are you prepared to make sure that the conditions under which they work, including insurance and gratuities that are owed to them, the bigger issues, are prepared to shake the tree and make sure that bad apples in government, not just the police force, drop out and are dealt with? I don't believe he's after that task, nor is he committed to it." Pintard said instances involving law enforcement should involve swift justice, saying, quote, "We would have talked about swift justice with respect to the case involving all the explosive voice notes, that if a government is inclined to get to the bottom of a matter, they would move quickly. And so we can basically tell when this administration is committed to resolving one matter rather than another. In all cases, we believe there ought to be swift justice." Silence on other investigations, like Pintard mentioned. How deep these things run, we've not heard much. We've said they're looking into it, but yet no answers. No answers.
No response, no answers, no updates, and so what are we to make of that? What does that say?
It's almost like they want us to forget about it. Like, oh, they don't say anything.
Yeah.
They'll forget.
If we don't talk about it, they won't remember.
Right. I mean, sometimes that happens.
Right, it does. And it works,
Yeah.
There's a saying, just let it go for about 2 weeks and something else will come along and we'll get distracted.
Or we'll make something come along that'll distract
Or
them.
we'll make something come along, like you said. But it's important that we remember these things. These things are important, and we have to hold those in authority accountable.
Absolutely.
That's our responsibility. We can't let it go. We got to talk about it. What are the updates? What are the conclusions? What did happen? Why is this investigation not? We haven't gotten any updates on the other shooting. Is it because it's maybe the other shooting is a little bit more difficult to investigate? They didn't have the dash cam recording. Let us know what's happening.
At least the names, for the love of God. The names of the officer, the names of the victim, nothing? Wow. The family has spoken out. We know who the victim is, but the police have never said a thing.
They've never
said who the police officer is.
But we do have this going on, of course, with the police officer and the American gentleman from Pike.
Let's take these calls quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, Dwight, how y'all doing?
Doing well.
Okay. 3 fundamental things I see in this whole process. One, different strokes for different folks, if you understand what I mean by that.
it's just amazing. It's been situations happened. You've now someone is being charged. All of that has taken place. On the opposite end, almost similar situations, and absolutely cricket. The second point I'd like to mention also is this: that when we go and we think about the fact that now, I can only imagine what the Bahamian people and the government now has to now consider as compensation in payment to the widow of the young man, unfortunately, who lost his life. This is almost like a repeated pattern through various different administrations because of public servants not some public.
I mean, I think
let me
well, hold on.
that.
I don't know. He was off duty. This was not in the line of duty. I don't know if they'd have a case. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I think good lawyers can handle this one.
Well, I'll put it this way: I'm gonna roll under the rug, no matter how.
They
much
may try. I think they could try.
They could try as much as they want, brother. Let me tell you something. Do you realize, and this is even a deeper thought, have you thought about why the ambassador might have said, okay, we can let our guys, the FBI, look into this as well? Isn't that a louder cry of the non-confidence that they would have in our authorities and in their investigations? I want you to think about that. Why would they even suggest the FBI look into that?
I mean, you don't blame them. Bahamians have said that all the time. Many incidents we've said, can we call in the FBI or Scotland Yard to help us with this?
They don't trust. Simply, I don't think they don't trust the investigation process in the Bahamas.
We don't.
Period.
We don't either.
We don't. That's the point.
Yeah.
And I think that's a bigger situation than they're saying, listen, you know what, brother? We don't trust y'all. That's what they're saying. We don't trust y'all. Anyhow, thank you, brother.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate that call. But again, I do think that would be a challenge. It was not in the line of duty. It's absolutely not. The American lawyers will try it. We'll try it. They'll try it. Yeah, I think that would be.
What I also find interesting is the willingness, not interesting in the sense that, why would they? Because it's an American citizen. But even in the face of, we've already brought someone before the court, right? So for all intents and purposes, we're saying we believe that, whatever, this is the case. Mm-hmm. But you're still saying the FBI, they'll investigate. We're already before the court stage. Okay. Just make sure, I guess, that there's a conviction, you think?
Well, I mean, hey, he's offering if you need it. This text says,
Is it an offer?
Texas says,
is it an offer or is it a demand?
Well,
is it a demand? Dressed up as an offer.
This texter says it's not unusual for the FBI to seek to get into overseas crimes against their citizens. Mm-hmm. And I think we've seen that with Bahamians as well.
Absolutely.
We've said that with incidents over abroad involving Bahamians. I think that was, I remember with the two students in
Italy.
In Italy, right?
Italy?
Didn't we offer?
Yeah. In Italy.
So that happened.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that has happened. Mm-hmm. Like, that's not a shocker.
Yeah. And other people saying it. Yeah, that's what they do. The FBI investigates.
Yeah.
You got to care about your citizens, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Get a hint, get a clue. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
You got to care about your. Say it again, Dwight. You got to care about your citizens.
You got to care about your citizens. You got to care about your citizens.
Yeah.
Caller,
good morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Dwayne. And Dwayne.
Good morning.
Hey, Dwayne. Thanks for teaching us how to grief elegantly. Yeah, man. To live tragedy what you went through with your stepson. Thank you for sharing that side of grief. Yeah, Dwight, you see all week I was saying, but surveillance, right? You see I say surveillance, can't answer the question, right? But it's so good that those trucks with dash cam, you know, because you know our BC truck, Metalco trucks wouldn't have no dash cam. But and the next scene in Village Road, that story sounds so shady. Because they probably didn't look at the surveillance camera of that, and then they gotta go over that before they bring that out to the public. Because that ain't sound right walking down Village Road with your gun on you and the car pull up and chop in the cutlass. So when they check the surveillance camera, that could bring out the truth in that. But like all week I saying surveillance. So once they check that surveillance camera, they can find out exactly what's going down. And then that's what happened.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much. Well, we know a little more about it than that, but all of these started from altercations. All of these started from previous altercations that ended in violence, right? And all likely involving somebody using alcohol. Caller, good morning, you're on the air. At least alcohol. Are you there? No. Okay, some final just before we take a break. Everything there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Western Station is that airport station, Texas, person says. Yeah, that is that one. That's what it's called. Well, we will see. Will we have any information about the other incident before the end of the week, Laverne? Are you going to take some bets on it?
I'm not taking any bets. I might as well just give you the money.
You think? You think we'll know anything before?
Forget the bets. How much money you want?
Okay.
How much money, you know?
My goodness. Well, that's very, very sad. That's.
But you know, if we keep talking about it, we may. So let's all keep talking about it.
Demand the information.
Keep talking about it. You know, all of us who are on air, we keep talking about it in the media.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe we'll get an answer by Friday.
Wow. Which Friday? Anyway, we'll be back. This is Morning Blend on
Tomorrow.
Guardian Radio. Oh, okay. Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Cause it would break my heart, break my heart, break my heart if I find out you can't move.
Wendy's has brand new chicken tenders, and they're everything you've been craving. Crispy, juicy, and seasoned just right. These tenders bring the flavor from the very first bite. Dip 'em, dunk 'em, love 'em. With sauces like sweet chili, scorching hot, ranch, honey barbecue, honey mustard, and Wendy's signature sauce. Grab them as a kid on their own, or make it a combo that hits the spot every time. For tenders you're gonna know by name, it's gotta be Wendy's.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
This is definitely the time for BAMSI to continue to build on the progress that we've made. There's now drone technology. There's now year-round container farming. You have hydroponics. You have aquaponics. You have precision farming. There have been record numbers of enrollments, record numbers of flat fishing certifications. We've had record enrollments in our online courses. Students from across the family of islands. Because in BAMSI, we are not just cultivating produce. We're cultivating producers.
Paid for by the
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
And we are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. Hey, it's almost time. Just a couple of days now until the big fair, the Red Cross Annual Fair, the 82nd Annual Fair. And back, Johnson is with us to tell us more. Good morning, Janet Johnson. Are you there? Are you muted?
Good morning, Bahamas.
There we go.
Wonderful to be with you, Dwight.
Great to be talking with you. Come back home. Come back home is the theme this year. We know what this means, but explain it to us. What does that mean specifically?
Well, you know, when I was asked to chair this year's fair, I went back to my memories of going to the Red Cross Fair. And it was always at Government House in the lower grounds. And so I thought, to take it back home would be very nostalgic. It would bring, hopefully, new people to the fair, people who used to go and would remember what it was like. And so that emotional tug would be there through the nostalgia. And so we were able to convince Government House to take us back, and we're very, very happy to be there. Of the Red Cross Fair. It was always the patron of the Red Cross Fair was always the governor's wife, the wife of the governor, and so she held the fair in her grounds, in her garden, and so that's how it came to be at Government House. It's very prestigious. It's very safe, and we wanted to go back home, and so we're delighted to be back in the lower grounds of Government House.
So when was the last time it was held there? Has it been that long?
It's been quite a while because it moved to Arawaki, to the tourist center, and we looked at it, and obviously with the new cruise port being so close by, it's an added bonus to be able to work with the Port of Nassau and to make the visitors aware, because obviously Red Cross is global. And wherever it happens, people feel that it's their civic duty to support the Red Cross wherever you are in the world, because they're the first responders whenever disaster strikes, and they're there through the recovery. And so again, it's a civic duty of every Bahamian to support the Red Cross where they can. And this is one of the major fundraisers. And so we invite everyone to come out to Government House, Lower Grounds, on Saturday from 12 o'clock.
Okay, all right. So you said it, a major fundraiser. How big of a fundraiser is this? How important is the fair to the Bahamas Red Cross?
It's very, very important because of all the programs that the Red Cross has. They have a junior cadet program, but they have almost registered in that program. They do Meals on Wheels. So for people who are shut-ins or those who are less fortunate to be for the Red Cross to give meals, I think they do about 250 meals a day. And they also provide training in CPR. So that they try and keep everybody safe. Corporations, local Bahamian companies are signing up to have their staff trained in CPR as one of the benefits of being a staff member. I think that's really wonderful. And so the Red Cross is there, like I said, first responders when we're in a hurricane and everybody is on edge. We're comfortable in our homes. The Red Cross are out there volunteering and with their volunteers and on the front line, doing the work for us. And so whatever we can do to support that, to pay it forward, as the Red Cross Fair permits, then we want everybody to be able to do that.
Okay, all right. Excellent stuff. So you said at 12 o'clock Saturday, what can we expect this year?
Well, it's one of those fairs that's a heritage fair. So you're going to get all the old stuff. You're going to get hoopla, you're going to get bingo. There's going to be a petting zoo for the kids and adults. There'll be the amusement rides for the children. So, you can bring your kids and maybe it's almost like a babysitting, where you can go off with your friends and enjoy it, and they can also have a good time. Then there's the cotton candy, hot dogs. We've got wings of every flavor. So whatever it is that you would like to have, and that you can see at a fair or enjoy at a fair, we're going to have it. The regular coconut cake and Benny cake things that from our heritage, all of that will be at the Red Cross Fair, and we encourage everyone to come out and enjoy it. The entertainment lineup is we've got a gospel section that's going to be off the chain. We have a secular section later on that starts at 7:00. That's going to be so exciting. They're calling it the Sculling Party.
Oh, wow.
And so we invite everyone to come out. We've included the school bands, we've included marching bands on stage and in the grounds. Entertainment going on from 12:00 on Saturday until 11:00 at night when the Junkanoo closes out.
Okay, wow,
We've
Junkanoo.
also worked with a lot of corporates in the area to provide parking, because obviously their businesses are closed on the weekend.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Where do you park?
Yeah. So if you look along East Hill Street, there's the Mortgage Corporation, the old post office parking, Victoria Court. There's the RBC and Royal Fidelity. There's also parking at Central Bank. And in Market Street, you've got the City Meat Market parking lot. So we'll have attendance in all of those areas. And for those individuals who are mobilely challenged, BTC is partnering with us and loaning us their bus to pick people up and bring them to the grounds. We have 3 entrances, one on Market Street, one on Blue Hill Road, and the southern one will be at Schools Lane.
Okay.
So there shouldn't be long lines. You should be able to get in quite quickly. You can use your credit card at the gate, as well as legal tender. And once you come into the grounds, then you have to change your money into to be able to negotiate any transactions. And so come prepared. It's payday tomorrow. And we want everybody to come and have a great time on Saturday at the Red Cross Fair.
Nice. How much is it to get in? What are the entry costs?
It's $10 to get in. We've kept the price the same as it has been in previous years. So $10 for adults and $5 for children.
Okay. Wow, excellent. And somebody's texting and says, I remember they used to sell books at the Red Cross Fair. Is that still a thing? Or is there somebody selling books on Saturday?
I'm sure there will be. There's a white elephant stall that's run by the Zonta Club of Nassau. They've run it for years. And I'm sure they're going to have books on that stall. Mm-hmm. In fact, if they don't, I'm going to see to it that they do have a collection of books there.
Nice. Is it too late to get a stall? Is that a possibility still?
I'm not sure, but they can give us a call. They can give the Red Cross a call and an opportunity. At this late stage, so I wouldn't say no.
Okay. Give the Red Cross a call.
A call
if you want to stall. Okay, excellent. All right, so remind folks, Saturday, Government House grounds, the place to be.
This Saturday, Government House grounds, be there.
All right, 82nd Annual Red Cross Fair. Come back home.
That's right.
That's great stuff. Always have a great time when it's at Government House on the grounds. So it's going to be great, and it looks like the weather will cooperate as well. Janet Johnson, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you, Dwight. Really appreciate it.
All right, we're going to break for news and be back. A whole lot more to talk about in business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Y'all them look so nice. Keep on playing the sweet old music. Say the people can't refuse it. Outside in the open air, holding my baby oh so near, with one hand in her hand and one arm around the waist. We having a party in the oh yeah, party all night long. We gonna break and scrape until the morning come. We're gonna party till the break of dawn.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalk.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Thursday, March 26th, 2026. This is Morning Blend. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. And this morning we are going to be introducing you to a special organization that is really doing some interesting things. And they've got a big event coming up in a few weeks. They're going to tell us all about that. We'll talk with them a little bit later in this hour. But there is quite a bit of news to talk about, business news related to Grand Bahama. And Laverne, it's good that you're here on Thursdays when we deal with these issues, Grand Bahama Power Company and what we heard in the House of Assembly yesterday. Before we do that, though, this texter's insisting, this might be a police officer, I'm not sure, but they keep insisting that Superintendent Pinder is with the airport station and not Western. Okay, it's possible. In any event, right now he's in jail. But
He's a police officer, though. Did we get that right?
Yeah, everyone knows that. Accused of killing somebody while off duty and not in anything resembling the line of duty. So, okay. Well, anyway, right. So, Davis defends plan to acquire GB Power. Our Rachel Scott writing about it in today's Nassau Guardian. Opening debate in the House of Assembly on Wednesday to acquire JBPC, the Grand Bahama Power Company. Prime Minister Davis said the move would unburden Grand Bahamians who have traditionally faced higher electricity bills than residents on other islands. Davis said the acquisition would be part of a larger reform effort which would, quote, change the economy, change the country, and change what is possible for Bahamians. Through the resolutions, the government sought parliamentary approval to guarantee $280 million in borrowing to assume control over GBPC. Of that amount, $200 million would flow through Grand Bahama Energy Company Limited, a special purpose vehicle, and $80 million would assist with the capital expenditure of the GBPC upon the acquisition. So the Prime Minister is saying, quote, we've chosen again and again to reject the status quo and to choose progress instead. Today, this House faces a choice. We must choose whether Grand Bahama remains trapped in a costly arrangement that leaves Bahamian families and businesses paying more than they felt, or whether Grand Bahama moves into a fairer national energy future. Before we go on, Laverne, I have to ask, have you felt trapped in a costly arrangement?
I won't say that I've felt trapped all of the time, but there have been moments when, yes, I have felt trapped.
Okay, interesting. The Prime Minister went on to say, quote, the members of this House must choose whether they are going to put money where their mouth is and show us they mean it when they say every island matters. Have you heard them say that before? Huh. I don't know if I've ever heard that. Okay, well, that's good. That's good. Maybe they do. Maybe we just don't hear it. Quote, we must... Yeah, hey, we don't hear everything. We certainly don't. We certainly do not.
No.
Quote, we must choose whether public policy will finally address the burden that Grand Bahamians carry every month. Our administration chooses progress for Grand Bahama. Earlier this year, amid growing concerns over the cost and worsening reliability on Grand Bahama, Davis announced the signing of a memorandum of understanding with Emira for the government to acquire GBPC. In a statement the following day, Emira said while it did not sign an MOU with the government, there was no, while it did sign the MOU with the government, it said no final agreement was made at the time. The government, however, has maintained that it is intent on acquiring. He spent a significant amount of time on Wednesday. Sorry?
Nothing's been finalized, Dwight.
Well, it sounds like they're getting really close. Sounds like they're getting pretty close.
Well, Emera confirms constructive discussions remain ongoing.
Okay. Well, the debating resolutions. So, Davis spent a significant amount of time on Wednesday lamenting the F&M's opposition to his announcement of a planned acquisition. F&M leader Michael Pintard has maintained the purchase is not in the best interest of the Bahamas, particularly in the context of the situation with BPL, which has been the subject of sweeping reforms due to the accumulation of $500 million in debt, while much of its infrastructure has been in desperate need of upgrades. Davis accused Pintard of, quote, being an advocate for the status quo. Wow, that's harsh. And said the ongoing reform of BPL is evidence of his government's ability to properly manage energy companies. The Prime Minister said,
So it's everyone who has a question about this purchase and what of this purchase is everyone who wants to ask questions. Okay, beyond you purchasing Grand Bahama Power, if this deal comes to fruition, because again, it's a memorandum of understanding. Again, Emera is maintaining that they are having meaningful discussions.
you're going to have to let that go. This is much beyond that now, obviously. But go on.
Okay, who is it beyond if Emera is still saying that and they're the people?
Okay.
Excuse me. If they're the people who the government is, they're the organization who the government is saying that they're going to purchase this from.
Well, they might be smart, knowing how these things work, right? Like unlike some other things in Grand Bahama, they like show us the money first, and then we'll speak more positively about this.
So and because I live and see how these other deals have gone, you know how I feel about any announcements of any deals of any sort. But my question is, if we ask questions because we want to understand, okay, beyond the purchase, what is the plan so that we can see a reduction in energy, we can see savings, we can see all of the things that Grand Bahamians have been talking about and needing to see. What is the plan? Has that plan been articulated? So if I'm asking these questions, does that mean that I am an advocate for the status quo?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I should just be.
Why not? So the Prime Minister says, quote, the choice before us is simple. Do we side with Grand Bahama or do we side with the burden Grand Bahama has been carrying? What? Oh, man.
Tugs at your heartstrings.
Wow. Well. And if you side with the burden, what is, wow, okay. He says that is the question. My goodness. This is the only two options. Well, and
that's the only question.
Right.
The other things that people are asking, those are not questions. Those are just being an advocate of the status quo.
Well, more on those questions, right? And those are very valid questions. F&M leader Michael Pintard, another story in The Guardian today, says that the government's plan to acquire Grand Bahama Power Company is a gamble with taxpayers' money. He said, quote, we've read the resolutions carefully and examined what the government has told us and, more importantly, what it has not told us. And the conclusion we have is simple. The public pays while the PLP gambles. Proposition before the House today. The government gambles the country's finances, and the Bahamian people pay as the government's decisions often go wrong. And the evidence that it could go very wrong is not theoretical. It's documented. and it is staring us from the public debt figures this country has been quietly accumulating in the electricity sector for years. Wow. Both loans would be guaranteed by the government. So that if Grand Bahama Energy Company, the special purpose vehicle, cannot repay the banks, the government...
Grand Bahama Energy Company. Who makes that up? Who makes up Grand Bahama Energy Company?
The special purpose vehicle thing. Yeah.
Comprising of who?
Don't be status quo.
Comprising of
Don't
who
be
all?
status quo.
Don't be status quo.
Don't be status
Oh,
quo. You're
boy.
asking too many questions. So
Sorry.
if Grand Bahama Energy Company cannot repay the banks, the government of the Bahamas steps in and pays. And if the government pays, it is because the taxpayers of this country, every Bahamian from Inagua to Abaco, are on the hook for that bill. $280 million guaranteed by every Bahamian, not by the residents of Grand Bahama alone, not by the customers of the power company alone, not by these folks in here who are well paid, but by every Bahamian in this country. And we do get, what do we get in return? We get ownership of a utility company that has been financially challenged for decades, with no published valuation, no disclosed liabilities, no tariff model, no capital plan, and no independent assessment that the price being paid is fair or that the $80 million will be sufficient to do what it needs to do. Points there. Wow. Pintard said yesterday that while the FNM believes there is a need for change as it relates to electricity on Grand Bahama, the move proposed by the Davis administration is not the best way to achieve it, citing the track record of BPL, which has acquired $500 million in debt and is not well regarded for its reliability. Pintard said more consideration needs to be given to the government's decision to delve deeper into the energy industry. Let me ask you a question, Laverne. Are your street lights, they are on? You have street lights on your streets in Grand Bahama? At night, are they working? That's a serious question. Laverne, is your mic?
Sorry, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yes, we do. Sorry, I had my mic muted
You had your mic muted.
because, there's a lot of noise in the background.
Okay.
But yes, we do. Of course, some street lights do go out, but for the most part, we do have street lights.
Do you
Yes.
have stretches of street lights that are out?
Yeah. No, not
Maybe just
stretches.
one.
Yeah, maybe one or two, but not stretching.
Interesting. The Minister of Works confirmed yesterday that BPL is responsible for the street
Uh-huh.
lights here in New Providence.
Okay.
So good luck. Good luck to you. Good luck. I hope your headlights are working in your car because we got
Right. Don't be status quo. Don't be an advocate for status quo.
I'm not. I'm just letting you know. Welcome to the dark side, literally. But anyway, let me continue to read. So Pintard says, quote, "This debate is not about whether Grand Bahamians deserve better electricity. Of course, we do, like everyone else. Of course we do. Like the energy situation on that island has been a burden on families and businesses for too long. Of course it has. And this debate is not about whether the FNM supports meaningful reform of the energy sector in Grand Bahama or anywhere else in the Bahamas. We do. Without hesitation or qualification, we support energy reform everywhere in the Bahamas. What this debate is about, the only question that matters, is whether the deal before us is the right deal for Grand Bahama. What this debate is about, the only question that matters today, is whether the deal before us is the right deal, whether the numbers add up, whether the risks have been disclosed, whether the plan is sound, and whether this government has done the basic work that a transaction of this size and magnitude demands before asking Parliament to put the full faith and credit of the Bahamian people and Treasury behind it." There's another article in the Guardian business section today. East Grand Bahama MP Kwesi Thompson asking more of those questions, asking the government to table analysis used to justify the $280 million for the purchase. Asking for advice on the debt management committee for all the analysis, right? All these things would be helpful to learn more about what it is the government wants to buy.
But Dwight, are these questions normal questions that you would during the contemplation, the discussion of an acquisition.
You better believe it.
So is the issue the questions, or is the issue for the government who the questions are coming from, specifically the opposition? Because these questions, in my mind, could be out of the box, out of pocket, oh, don't change things questions. These are things that, of course, we should know and have an understanding of.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's hear from you really quickly, folks. We only have a few minutes. We can get your calls in really quickly. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us from Grand Bahama, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. This text is asking who's responsible for the lights on these streets like Milo Butler Highway. I just told you. BPL. And they want that for Grand Bahama. Well, I don't know. It's not going to be BPL. It'll be Grand Bahama Energy. Who? What?
Grand Bahama Energy Company, whomever that is.
Right.
Who is Grand Bahama Energy Company? Who are the players behind Grand Bahama Energy Company? I know I asked you that like 5 minutes ago,
That's
but
a
I'm
very
asking
important
it
question.
again.
Very important question. It's good. It would be
I'm
good to
asking
know.
it again. It would be good to know, right?
You have any theories? Why are we?
I do, but I won't say it on
It's
air.
fun to play brand new here. I gotta say, it's very
Right.
fun to not act like we don't see the play and know it's what.
Who are
I mean, it's
who are the
exhausting
players
too.
For,
It's exhausting.
The players for who are the players for? Not Pike. What's the
Bahamas
is
Grid.
it BP? Yes.
Bahamas Grid
The
Company.
players for Bahamas Grid Company.
But it's all related because again, Pike. Who's in charge of Pike? Where's the
I don't
guy
know.
who's in charge of Pike? Sometimes spend his time. Who else is involved?
It's the Bahamas Grid.
I don't know anything.
I don't
think I want to know. I don't know if I want to know. Do you want to know?
don't
You
know
sure
if
you
you
want to know?
wanna
You
know.
can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth. Caller, what say you? Good morning. Hi, you're live on the air. Are you there? Do we chase you off? Yeah, we scared you.
I'm so sorry.
Oh
caller.
boy. Oh boy.
I'm so sorry. I just questions, right?
The
I have
lights are all coming on slowly. Caller, good morning. You're live on the air. Only got a couple minutes. Are you there? Caller, good morning. You're live. Hi, caller. Turn on your radio. You're live. Talk to us. We can hear you. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. Well,
Maybe it was someone from Grand Bahama Energy Company.
My goodness.
I don't know what to say, Dwight.
Well, the status quo is not dull. And on the outside of the status quo is not dull either.
But my thing is, these are like valid questions. And if people have valid questions, I don't want it to just be lumped into, oh, you're being a hater, oh, you don't support the government. But these are questions that we all should be asking, right? Because it's going to impact everybody.
Yeah. Laverne, it sounds to me like you're on the side of the burden. You're on the side of the burden.
Lord.
Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Laverne. Hope you're doing well.
Doing well. Hi.
Good morning.
My question is, Laverne and Dwight, what is the status of the airport at this point?
Oh, Lord. You sound like you're an advocate for status quo, man.
Yeah, but I didn't hear status quo this morning. But I mean the place. Okay, can we just concentrate? I know, like they say, you could walk and chew gum at the same time, but at least let's finish something.
Well, it could have been since Concord.
On that?
Right. How many weeks have they said now? It's been
I mean, it's been almost a month.
It's more than a month now.
Nothing is moving there.
Not a thing.
We don't know what is the airport. The DPM said that he's moving funds from the out islands that he got from the Saudi, and he's going to put it $40-50 million into the airport to jumpstart that. I mean, what is going on?
Isn't that? But when we originally got that money, wasn't that what part of it was supposed to be for anyway?
Which money? Which money was that?
Remember, we got some money. It was around the same time that the Prime Minister was in the
London?
UK for the inauguration or whatever for the King.
Well,
and he made
he
the
later came
announcement
back
that they had
and
received some money. But he changed. Okay, initially he was saying the entire amount, but when
Right.
he came back, he corrected himself to say a portion of it would go.
no,
He did say a
subsequently,
portion.
after that, he did say that they were re-entering into this UK arrangement several months ago
Yeah,
for
but
150 or
they did-
$200 million to start the airport. Is anything going
I
on
feel
at
like
the
we've
airport,
got
Laverne?
money. I feel like we've got only just flights taking on and off. I mean, I if you're talking in terms of work,
I mean, like things that you can see that there are workers out there. The site is being cleared.
You know the
anything-
answer to these things, caller. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. Thank you very much for the call, though.
No.
It's just that's
I
you're
mean,
hurting your
you can
head.
see
You
workers
just
out there.
slapping
But
up your
I just
gums for
wanna-
what?
I just want to say, for reference, there are workers out there.
Where?
The people who are at the airport, because people are employed there.
Right.
So
I mean,
they're-
flights still, as you said, take off and land. Yeah, but
Mhm.
nobody's working on the airport. They're working at the thing you all call an airport. Yes. Right. Okay. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Hi, are you there? Good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Laverne.
Hi.
I want you to do me a big favor here, Dwight and Laverne. Please express the amount that the Bahamas government intends or intends to or wish to borrow to buy the ordinary shares at GP Power Company. What is that amount?
Yeah, it's 200 million for the purchase of the to borrow from RBC to assist in capital expenditure. So 200 to buy the shares, 80 million for capital expenditure.
So in total,
$280 million.
$80 million. Now, I did
Yes.
that particularly to have the Bahamian people that understand the amount that they wish to borrow on the taxpayers' back today. Now, let me put it into the perspective where I want this conversation to go. We have right now the Grand Bahama International Airport is not in operation to the level where it should. We have the Rand Memorial Hospital over there.
I mean, is that a fair statement, Laverne? I mean, that is not in operation in the way that it should be. I mean, it is. Okay,
It's
fine.
operating.
Yeah, it's operating.
We have
It's
issues.
operating,
And
but
then we
not
have
in the
issues
manner
are
that it
being
should
issued.
as an international facility.
Like many other family island airports. It's like that.
That's one. Rand Memorial Hospital requires extensive renovations and upgrading of equipment there. Two. Okay? Now, these are existing entities or complexes or whatever. Why is it that we are not focused on bringing these up to the levels where we need them to be? I'm not even talking about Alukaya, seeing that Carlson, Wilshire, or whatever the operation is. That seemed to be the focal point for that. But here's also the other pivotal point that I want to bring here. Now that the Grand Bahama International Airport is not up to that level, where's the conversation concerning restoring or even trying to mobilize the operation of the old military base in East End towards the Bay administration is using funds to build new airports and also renovate the old airports around the Family Islands? Where's that concentration in terms of bringing increased tourism to or passengers or whoever to the island to get the economy regenerated so Bahamian people can be hired hopefully in the not too distant future. Where are these
I don't know
conversations?
why. Laverne, would you be prepared to drive that distance to catch a flight?
The other people on that side willing to drive that distance from there to come to Freeport proper.
I can't imagine who would.
Yes. Yes, I'd be willing.
Yeah, how many miles is that?
I'm not sure, but I'd be willing.
If it were a good, decent airport, okay, but that's pretty far. That's really far.
I'd be willing.
Okay, all right, I hear you. We gotta go to a break. Hey, this is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9 Morning Blend Business. When we come back, changing gears, we're going to find out about Game Changer Movement Global Organization and a special event they have coming up in just a few weeks. Stay with us here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
If you can't find your friends in Nassau, they're in Freeport or they're in jail. So if you're looking, searching and worrying, you'll find it's true without any fail. If you can't find your friends in Nassau, they're in Freeport or they're in jail. Go!
Angie, how does it feel to have broken the bull riding world record?
Sore, Sean. That bull was angry.
Angie, I think that bull is headed towards your red convertible.
I broke the world record and he broke my car. Oh well, at least I've got CG Comprehensive Motor to cover this.
Get covered for collision, damage, and more. CG Atlantic Agents and Brokers. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
At CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Streets. Call 326-1976.
Put more money back in your pocket with the Fidelity Debt Consolidation Loan. Why pay more when you can pay less? Reduce your monthly debt payments down to one low, easy payment. Apply for a Fidelity Debt Consolidation Loan today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
I see it. My work is on the water. Free diving, throw no line is how I survive. Listen. From foggy to yellowtail, from jackfish to killer whale, I jump in my dingy boat and I head on down the coast. I need a fish to bite, my kids gotta eat tonight, so I do what I gotta do, take some fish back for them to stew. I've been in the trade long, and I was very strong. By my father's hand, he said, get fish boy to make them man. Once you got a big line, son, you'll be fine. Just keep your eye out for them floating groupers passing by. I'm a boatman.
We are back with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Straw along with Laverne Gardner. Changing gears a bit, we are talking about coming up next month. The folks behind it, Game Changer Ministries and Game Changer Movement. Game Changer Movement, a global organization. And they've got the Hoodie Conference coming up and Elite Basketball Invitational. Here to tell us all about this, very pleased to have with us Junior. Good morning, sir. Great to have you with us.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Doing well, doing well.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so this is a lot. We want to talk about Hoodie, we want to talk about elite basketball, but tell us about Game Changer Movement. What is Game Changer Movement?
Game Changer Movement, I'd say global, it's a ministry-based organization, but primarily it's meant to facilitate, empowerment. It originally started, if I can bear with me my memory now, in 2012, when I was kind of in a low place, and I felt inspired by God to go to the schools in that low place. And as I started to go into the schools, I realized that young men were in need of a lot of empowerment, a lot of mentorship. So I started to deposit whatever I had at the time into that space, and they would give me AF Hadley, actually, shout out to them, and they would give me about say 30 minutes of lunch break time for some of their troubled young men.
Right.
And it started to grow, and then eventually I transferred. I had to kind of put it down for a bit, and then go into the government sector and transition into the Simpson Penn School for Boys, where I was allowed and afforded the opportunity to have a more stronger, more wider reach.
Mm-hmm.
But if I can stay true to the message behind it, it was inspired originally when a younger brother of mine came home from college during his college break, and I wanted to do some printing at the time, and in my time of printing or aspiring to do printing, I wanted to come up with my own brand, actually, athletic brand. I wanted to actually be the first Nike of the Bahamas.
Oh wow! Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was a little, I would be honest with you, I was a little I was doubting, because it was inspiration I got from God. I was kind of doubting it, and I shared it with my brother early that morning as he was training, and I went out with him, and he said, you just need to do it. He said, believe in yourself and just do it, and he said, why not? And the moment he said that, I guess I had another experience, and I felt God speaking to me and said, your brother is showing more faith in something that I showed you.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And for me, I had an experience where I saw the image, and I heard Game Changing Movement, and I as a creator, a graphic creator, started to create the image within 15 minutes. It had every subliminal you could imagine with connecting God and the whole message of the kingdom. Mm-hmm. So that's where it started, and from there I went into the schools, like I said. I heard Matthew 6:33 and did not know what it was actually at the time, and I went into the Bible and flipped the pages really fast trying to figure this thing out, because it said, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and these things shall be added. So I heard that voice again say, if you give this to me, I will take it where you saw it. Mm-hmm. So from there I've been trying to do it in my own way. Working at the Simpson Penn School for Boys, generating and creating activities outside of my workspace to try to help this situation in the country with our men and young boys. Mm-hmm. I feel we are a small island, but we have big issues. And men, more than ever before, need to really step up to the plate and cover their responsibilities. Shifting gears now, going into Hoodie. Cover their responsibilities and remain under the covering of God, I believe. Mm-hmm. So that's where, in the gist of it, that's where a lot of the inspiration has come from, and from there, that inspiration has brought me into touching the lives of, like I say, a lot of men and young men, and grown men and young men alike.
Mm-hmm. Wow. All right. So what are you seeing right now? I mean, and since 2012, what's changed?
Well, they say the sky is most darkest right before dawn. Mm. So one would assume that this country is in a very depressed state when it comes to men and the issues relating to them. But I believe we're right on the cusp of one of the greatest moves when it comes to the restoring the recovery of men. I believe that men right now, there are some men in silent pockets who are being inspired by God to do some great and call other men up to the forefront and back to their rightful place in Him. If I could continue, I'd say that I believe that right on the edge of, I don't know if you're familiar with the scripture, it says Malachi 4:6, where it says, I will send my prophet and he will go to the men and then they will turn. That word turn speaks to restoration, and that word turn also speaks to refocusing. So that prophet, that prophetic voice in that case, that person, that individual that carries that mantle, they are going to do some things. So they're going to inspire men to actually step back up and move towards their responsibility. And what I love about that scripture is it doesn't speak or doesn't address initially, and it doesn't say anything about the women. It doesn't discard the woman, mind you, but it doesn't speak to the women. It says, I will turn them back to their responsibility, and which is the children, young men, and as a result, that will cause those young men now to turn themselves or turn their honor, their respect back for their fathers. And in return, the family will be restored, because it says at the end of it, the earth will be smitten with a curse. Now, I don't know about you, brother, but I can see right now that we are really going through some rough stuff right now. It looks very, very similar to a curse. So, but it's going to be restored when men get back to their rightful place. We don't need economic reform. We don't need to argue about yellow, red, or whatever color there may be out there during this election season. What we need is men to get back to their place, and as a result, there will be a trickling effect in every area of society. I truly believe that. Yeah. And to the women, the reason why I believe that scripture does not speak about the women, because the women's heart, mothers, are always in tune with their children. So the moment a man gets back to his rightful place, he automatically gets his wife and his woman. Wow. Because she will follow his desire and his passion towards his children. So I believe that God will secure the entire household once the men get back to their rightful place.
You mentioned it already, hoodie. What exactly is hoodie?
Well, hoodie is speaking to that sense of covering. I'll tell you where I was inspired by that. I'll joke with you today. I said my head isn't big for a reason. I'm always filled with ideations concerning things. So staying true to form, about 3 years ago or so, I had this, woke up early in the morning and I had this little snippet. I saw a young man, or I saw a man wearing a hoodie, and it was uncovered. And I felt that God was challenging me with a question and asking me in that way, in that moment, why isn't his head covered? And from there, it just hit me, and I got an acronym immediately for the word head: hope, emotional stability, affirmation, and direction, preferably divine direction. And I felt the Lord kind of speaking to me and saying, when a man has those things tied, he is covered. And if you look at it, men need a sense of hope. Men need a sense of emotional stability. Men need a sense of affirmation. We need a sense of direction. And those areas, I believe, are where we are struggling most. Some men are feeling hopeless. We've heard over the years brothers killing themselves. They're cutting the cord. They're losing it. We look around, sometimes you see, I know you probably seen it sometimes, you see social media blasts where fellas are just outrightly just fighting, just random acts of savagery, acts of violence. That's emotional stability. You can't step on a brother's foot nowadays and he wants to fire off. And then, of course, young and old men need affirmation. They need to be encouraged. They need to be empowered. They need to feel that there's another brother or I guess an authority in their life that is seeing them and recognizes them. And then last but definitely not least, direction. We need a sense of direction. A lot of women would pretty much concur with this when they say that men need direction, because they're being led by men in the homes. You know what I mean? So ultimately, I honestly believe that this is the spirit of how Christ moved in the earth. And hope. He knew who he was. He knew he was confident in himself. He was emotionally stable. He was always attacked verbally by those around him, the Sadducees, Pharisees, his haters. And he had affirmation. God affirmed him when he came to John the Baptist. He said, "This is my son. I'm well pleased in him. This is the man." And then he directed him, and he says, "Go and establish a leadership team, and then take this thing to the next level." So I believe Christ operated like that. And if you see the image, if you look at the image, I don't know if you've seen it, I've sent it to you. You can see there's a crown in the midst of that. And that crown represents when that man is secured in those same areas I just mentioned, he now becomes a king. He walks in his true kingship in this earth.
So you're having the third annual Hoodie all-male gathering and award ceremony in a few weeks.
Yeah.
What are we doing there? What's happening there?
Well, of course, I kind of started off with the spiritual side of it. It's very pragmatic as well too. So, some people out there that may listen. This is a spiritual nut, man. But rest assured, this is not just a spiritual move. There's also a very practical move as well. And that practicality, I look at it as I approach this whole initiative with another acronym called ACE, and that's Athletics, Celebration, and Empowerment of All Things Male. The athletic side of it is, and the celebration aspect is the award ceremony where I honor a few men who I believe have adorned that hood and worn that hood in excellence, who've covered their responsibilities, their families, their civic duties, and also who've also remained under the covering of the Most High. Right. And then, of course, there's the empowerment side of it, where I kind of get some speakers and I speak into give them an opportunity to kind of empower some young and grown men. This year, we will be hosting a youth symposium from the 17th to the 19th, and I would start on a Friday, and it's going to be at the Lighthouse, or I think the church's name is, forgive me, the church's name is Christian Fellowship, sorry. I think it's on, the Montrose Avenue. And we will be hosting that. I'll be starting at 10:30 until about 2 o'clock. And we're trying to get at least about 50 young men from various schools. And we're going to feed them. We're going to speak to them. And we're going to love on them. And the second day is going to be all males gathering. That'll be on the 18th. That starts at about 6:30. And that's going to be focusing on marriage and how men can strengthen themselves in their relationships, and also single men as well too. So I hope my single men are listening out there. I was once I was a single man, but one of the things I realized is single men, we need to be informed as to how we ought to do relationship. You know what I mean? So that's going to be a strong focus on that area. And then we're going to have a time of just praise and worship, and a time of networking. So at the last day, there will be the award ceremony, which will be the celebration part where I kind of honor a few men and give them an opportunity to get their flowers. Because in most cases, we tend to see a lot of men honored mostly during Father's Day, and sometimes that's where it stops. Yeah. So I want to give some brothers their flowers for what they've done over the years, and the silent, unsung heroes.
So how do people be a part of this? What do they need to do?
Well, what you need, I think there's a contact number. You can call 456-7537 for registration.
456-7537.
And then there is another number here, 815-0071. And you can reach also by email. That is Hoodie, HOODY, CANDA @gmail.com. Hoodie, HOODY, CANDA @gmail.com.
Okay.
So you can reach us there, and there you can register through that.
And again, that's April 17th through the 19th. Before that, though, is
the basketball tournament. Yes.
Okay, so tell us about that.
So the basketball tournament is an Elite 8 basketball tournament. And the inspiration behind the tournament, as I did say, is men covering their responsibility. I believe that every man has a duty to deposit, to make a civic impact. It's very unique. It's the first of its kind in the country as far as I know. We are requesting each team and each player to bring canned goods as a form of registration.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and what happened with that, at the end of the tournament, we're going to take those canned goods and we're going to be a blessing to an organization we choose to on behalf of our organization, whether it's the Children's Emergency Hostel or the Ramfleet Home, or even some communities, or even partnership with some churches. I know my pastor, Dr. Ambassador Devaney Rule, he's been walking and moving in that area for a while, going out in the community and giving out grocery items as a means to carrying the gospel. So a lot of the inspiration behind that is inspired by that on my end. But aside from that, there will be a small registration fee because, everything has cost. So the registration fee for the juniors and the senior boys will be about $160. That's only $20 a player. So it's a
Any age restrictions?
Well, age will be from under 15 and under. Senior boys would be 17 and under.
Okay.
And the adult male division will be 18 and above.
Okay. All right.
So the adult males are required to bring $200 per team. The team is 8 players per each team. So everything is an 8. 8 is a number of new beginning. As I said before, I'm trying to pioneer a new course in this country. So I'm using that number as a means to hopefully inspire the movement.
Any prizes up for
Well,
grabs?
there will be a cash prize. There will be a cash prize for the winners of the tournament. I will keep that cash prize as a secret. But there's a cash prize, and there's also going to be some small giveaways at the actual venue. We're going to ask some trivia for different things here and there at the venue. We'll be giving out some prizes there as well.
Okay.
So we're asking persons and family members to come on down. If you want to register at the gym, you can do that as well.
And where's this going to be at?
It's going to be on the Tall Rogers
Tall
Gymnasium. Yep.
Okay.
If you want to register at the gym, we're starting at Friday, and we're starting at Friday officially at 12 o'clock. We'll be going until
the Easter weekend.
Yes, the Easter weekend. Yes, it's a full schedule. And then we're going into Saturday, and then we're ending at Sunday. Sunday we'll be crowning our champion for the Elite 8 basketball tournament. Okay. So there it is. I think that's pretty much it in a nutshell as to what this initiative is about. I really, really want. In the country, I realized that we're very big on basketball, and I think now at this particular time, this is the most exposure that I've seen. Our basketball talent has reached the globe. You see Buddy Hield, likes of VJ Edgecombe, and I want to inspire the kids to understand that they can reap the rewards of their giftings now. A lot of the basketball tournaments, they tend to be for bragging rights, but I'm hoping to make impact beyond the hardwood. Yeah. So where you can be able to walk away with something while still giving or making a deposit into the country.
Excellent. We're talking with Ian Thompson Jr. We've got a call, and we're running out of time, but caller, let's get your call in quickly. Oh, okay. Wow. Wow. Well, we're out of time. Let people know how they can be a part of the Game Changer Movement global organization, and if they want to be a part of these events coming up, what they need to do one more time.
Well, the Game Changer Movement Global is the parent company or parent organization for whatever I'm doing now. You can simply reach out at us at Game Changer. That's just GameChangerMovement. Game Changer Movement, and you can reach out to us from there. And again, hoodie, HOODYCANADA @gmail.com. The numbers are the same, 456-753-7815-0071. You can check us out on Facebook as well, the Game Changer Movement, Facebook, and you can also check us out on Facebook as well, the Hoodie Award Ceremony.
Okay.
Hoodie Award Ceremony and Conference and Award Ceremony, sorry.
Excellent stuff. Keep us posted. This is good work that you're doing. Ian Thompson Jr., again, thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you so much, brother. I truly appreciate you.
All right.
And God bless Bahamas.
We're going to take a very quick break, and then we'll wrap things up. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Yes, sir.
Fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver with printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Time for your morning business report and your market watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Wednesday. Your market movers: Bahamas First Holdings Limited moving 500 shares, closing at $2.99 unchanged. Bank of the Bahamas moving 1,100, up 55 cents, closing at $6.55. Commonwealth Bank moving 10,000, up 21 cents, closing at $4.24. Galena Holdings moving 2,308, unchanged at $17. Focal moving 6,354, closing at $7.09, unchanged. Consolidated Water down 7 cents, closing at $6.47. Emira Incorporated up 13 cents, closing at $12.52. The BISX All Share Index closing at 3,134.28, up 0.82. That's your market watch, and that is your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. Burton Gardner, thank you so much for being here this morning. Really appreciate it. We'll talk with you.
It's a pleasure.
Talk with you next week. Short week, Holy Week, and we'll see you then. We'll see you then. I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Everybody have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.